Hey guys, Slam Harrot here, and welcome to episode 3 of my F1 2016 career mode of season 2. And we're here at China today, which will probably not be one of our best tracks, obviously because of abysmal straight line speed. But we did upgrade some of it last time thanks to a decent amount of resource points in Bahrain. But we did throw that race win away, so hopefully we can do better here. So let's get into practice 1 and let's see the R&D upgrades we've got before we get into practice 1.
Hi, how are you today? The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
So obviously we got more engine power because of the straight lines, or the straights that we've got for the next few races, obviously here, Russia and Spain. But yeah, we don't have really much to do, so let's get into practice 1 and see what we can do.
This weekend sees us arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session. A lot of focus is naturally on the drivers, but it's really important for the mechanics to get everything right as well, as one little mistake could cost the team and one of their drivers the race result.
These guys are so meticulous and they train and perfect everything that they do. Without question, they feel the pressure in the same way as the drivers, and they share the responsibility to ensure that the car makes it to the end of the race.
So here we are in practice 1. So we're just checking the weather here for the weekend, and it's going to be dry all round apart from a bit of wet at the end of qualifying, but I don't think that will be too much of an issue. So we're going to load our custom setup now, and hopefully we can take the form that we had in Bahrain, maybe here in China. Here we are on track acclimatization, and our first lap's pretty good. We just kind of get a bit of a tank slap on the exit of the final corner, and we get purple straight away there. So we're going to go into practice 2, obviously, and do qualifying pace. And now at the end of our first lap, we try to swing it round, but we dip our wheels on the grass and try to steer away and hit the wall, and we retire from the session. So that's not particularly good, honestly. I'm very, very disappointed. But you know what, we can come back with this, so let's get into qualifying 1 and see what we can do. But before we do get into practice 1, we've got a new rival here, obviously, because I think we beat Valtteri Bottas, and it's our old teammate Carlos Sainz, so that'll be interesting. But again, let's get into Q1 and see what we can do.
I'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China. I was looking at some highlights of previous races here, and the one thing that really stood out to me was the run down to turn 1. It's not an easy one to navigate, as everyone is scrapping to get into there first.
Turn 1's always a consideration for this race. It's certainly a difficult one to get right when surrounded by other cars, but the race isn't won or lost there. You've got to be smart, get through, and hope your rivals get into trouble and not you.
So here we are in Q1, and I just waited a bit, knowing that unlike Australia, I actually have some decent pace around here. So we're gonna go out on our first lap on, I think, soft tyres here. I'm coming on the end of our first lap. It's been pretty scrappy. I mean, Perez got in the way of our laps. I didn't really happen, but you know what? I'll be fine. I was fine with that, and I just waited to the end of the session, and that got us through in 14th place, which isn't particularly high. I know, but I really didn't really mind at that point because we were through, and that's all that really mattered. But we're gonna go out on a set of super softs here, as that's a faster tyre, and I want to start the race on that tyre. And I think that one of the Mercedes cars will probably do the softs first, so that will be really important to have the faster tyre than them. We're coming in at the end of our first lap. It's looking okay, like I got some T5, but it could definitely be better. But there's yellow flag straight ahead coming through. I can see a Mercedes there, Nico Rosberg coming out. So that'll be interesting to see what happens here. I'm just going to go into replay here and just flick through all the cars. And, where's Nico Rosberg? Yeah, there he is. So he's coming down the pit straight, and then a man comes out of the pits, and he just drives in. I get it's the racing line, but Mana is coming out of the pit, so he can't really slow down in the pit lane. But look at him, he kind of just drives into him, essentially. The Mana was ahead. So I don't know if the Mana will really get a penalty or anything, but that's definitely Rosberg's fault as we come through looking at Nico Rosberg there. But we're going to continue to get on through the session, as we're going to go out for another lap here. So I wasn't feeling pretty safe, so we can see we're down to P10 by the time we're coming on to the end of our lap. But coming on to the end of our lap, we set the fastest lap time, which is amazing. But obviously, we don't keep that fastest lap time. We go down to third, but nevertheless we get there. And Rio Haryanto has the grid penalty apparently, which I don't think is really justified. But you know what, it's not us, so I don't think we should really be caring about that. We're going to get a set of super softs onto the car and go out for a proper flying lap here in China. And on our first lap, you see Rosberg saying the fastest lap is we're going to come across the line here. And we set a decent lap time, so we go into third, just behind our teammate. And I was pretty happy with that lap, as that got us fourth place here for tomorrow's race on the grid. And that's okay, but you know what, we can definitely do some damage from here, so let's get into the race and see what we can do.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
Okay, watch out at the race start. There will be faster cars trying to get past. See if you can hold them off.
So here we are on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. I think he'll probably change strategies at some point and go for an extra fourth stop, because the tyre wear around here isn't pretty good. But it's pretty simple, super soft, 2 soft stints, a used pair of softs, and then mediums till the end. So I'm looking forward to this. So I think we're going to get into the race here, and we're going to go to the start sequence. We're going to get to maximum revs and put it up in tricks as always, as we go to 5 red lights, and it's away we go for a Chinese Grand Prix. A very fast light sequence, but we get better traction than Vettel coming into the first corner. I'm probably going to dive it down the inside. Yes, we do. Hopefully it's not like the actual 2016 season where 2 Ferraris collided. We're going to try to stick it down the inside of Hamilton. He doesn't really give us enough space going on the apex as we dip a grass and wheel, as he brake checks us through the middle of the corner as well. We're just going to follow him out through behind here and going into the turn 4 and 5, the hairpin, which is a decent overtaking spot, as we're going to dive down the inside here, brake really late and try to squeeze him out in the apex, but he's still there. But I think that he might just tuck into us as we go into this long left hand here in lap 1. But not in the end of lap 1 here, obviously Lewis Hamilton has a greater straight line speed in his Mercedes. He's going to just fly past us, but we're going to try to defend as late as possible. We brake pretty late as he tries to stick it down the inside, but we're going to try to hang it around the outside. He squeezes us out as he pushes us wide, which isn't very good. he gets back up in second place, and we're third here on the end of lap 1. But lap 2, we're going to do the exact same move here on Hamilton as we did in lap 1, and dive down the inside, but this time we're going to squeeze him out on the apex, so there's no chance that he will be able to come back at us later through the lap, which he didn't. Here on lap 3, I'm pissing, as is Hamilton, as we're going to come in here, hopefully for good stuff. He's really close behind us, and obviously you can see the red ball, and hopefully I don't get held up here, which I do, as Hamilton gets out ahead of us, which is really annoying because it keeps happening to me. I'm not happy about this, so the team need to do something better here, because I can't really go into the pits at full blast, otherwise, you know, I won't, well, I'll get a penalty. But obviously, we're following behind Hamilton, he overtakes Nasser here, so we take opportunities, we hang it around the outside here as we get the position. But now here on lap 6, and we're just sticking behind Hamilton and gaining places as he is, so we're going to stick it down the inside of Magnussen here at this long right-hander before the back straight, which is a really unorthodox overtaking position, but we get the position anyway here coming down the final straight on the end of lap 6 and the start of lap 7. We've got a really good exit as Hamilton gets bogged down by Julian Palmer here, as we're going to try to go around the outside of Hamilton here and start from the straight as Rosberg comes out of the pits as well. I think we've just got Hamilton there, but he's still there as Rosberg checks us through the corner on fresh soft tyres as the yellow flag because of the contact that we made, but we're just going to stick behind Palmer and Rosberg here, maybe get into the slipstream and move with them, and I think we're going to dive down the inside of Palmer here and Rosberg as we have the speed to do it. He doesn't really give us enough space as per usual, and he's still there though. He's going to try to stick it down here. He thinks he's going to tuck in behind us here. He's going to hang it around the outside. Rosberg is still there. He's not giving up as we're going to have the inside line, but no, he taps us and pushes us onto grass. I mean, what a cheat. And I don't like Rosberg, but I must say that is a big part of cheating there. But we've brought up Tarianto now, as we're going to use DRS and we're going to fly past him before the brakes on. This new straight line speed upgrade has really helped us here. So that's up into 7th place. And we're just going to keep following here as we're really stuck behind a lot of people now, so I decided to dive into the pits to go for what was supposed to be second set of soft tyres, I think it was. But no, I think I decided instead to go to the super soft and do an extra stop, because I want to have the faster strategy here to the end. And that was a bit of a slow start, as you see Hamilton going into the soft tyres behind us, so we're sticking ahead of him at the moment. So that's so we drop down into 18th place here as we just dip a tyre out of the pit lane here. But now here on lap 10 we're just going to follow behind Massa, as we're going to use DRS here on the back straight to get past him. He should have great straight line speed in that Williams engine, of course, but obviously we've got DRS, so we're just going to fly past him again before the braking zone. You maybe look to move down the inside trying to defend, but he just doesn't have enough speed. He's way too far away. So that's us up into 10th place. And now we're following behind Romain Grosjean here, as he's on worn soft tyre and we're on fresh super soft, so we're going to get into the slipstream here and maybe look to move down the inside, as he brakes really early and it takes me by surprise, so I might as well take the opportunity here, as that's us up into 9th place. But obviously other people pitted, so when we're in 7th we're going to pit for our second set of super softs here, as our tyre wear is really bad. But I don't know, the tyre wear is really bad around here. I wasn't really expecting it to be, so I'm a bit surprised and I'm not really happy. But hopefully there could be some sort of safety car as we do a 1 second pit stop here, which is really good. As a few cars ahead of us, it's Julian Palmer who's ahead of us. He's jumped us with 1 extra pit stop here in the pits, so well done to him really. But coming on to lap 15 here, we've just been following behind Magnussen, as I remember hearing on the radio that Gutierrez has a problem. So we're going to stick behind Magnussen here again. This is an orthodox position to overtake, and then maybe look for a move around the outside. As we go for a move down the inside, we make a bit of contact with the side pod, he squeezes us out there, which is fair enough. This is really aggressive racing here. We try to hang it around the outside, but I think he's still there, so we're going to leave him the space, but no, he tucks him behind us as we get up into 15th place here. And there's been a lot of racing in this race so far. as we see Palmer going down the inside of Gutierrez. Is obviously Gutierrez is slow, so we're going to go down the inside here as we get to Magnussen earlier in the race. And so we get up into 14th place here, and so we're going to try to chase after Jolyon Palmer here. But now, coming on to lap 16, we're going in for our medium stint on the tyres, obviously, because we try to go to the end of the race on these. Coming into the pits, I think it's going to be a really quick stop here. It's another under 2 second stop, which I'm really happy with here. But we're going to come out behind a lot of people, including Daniel Ricciardo, as well as Felipe Nasser. As, yeah, we come out in 19th place here, so we're going to have to do some chasing and hope for a safety car here. Now coming out because we see Rio Haryanto, as maybe we're going to try to come around the outside, him on cold medium tyres. So we're going to come around the outside, which turns to the inside here at this hammerhead corner as we get up into 15th place here. But obviously we still have a lot more work to do. We see Felipe Nasser is now out of the race here, and surprisingly a safety car is called out. I mean, I was pretty happy about it, knowing that, because obviously it helps us, as now the safety car's coming in here on lap 23, so we're just going to stick behind Sainz as everyone bunches up, and the medium tyres have worn a lot, which I'm really not happy with. The Sainz locks up coming through. The hairpin here is that loses him time. Obviously we have to slow down to make sure we don't have to crash into him. So we're just going to stick behind him here, but at the restart we're going to dive it down the inside here of our teammate, then which obviously turns to the outside so we don't get traction. He tries to dive it back down the inside. A bit of a dive bomb move there, is that we keep making contact. He tries to force us off the track again and again, which I'm really not happy with. So I'm thinking finally going to get the move done here at turn 5 as we get up into P11 here. And now here on lap 24 with the slipstream on Romain Grosjean, so we're going to dive down the inside here at the hairpin with the greater braking zone, as we're going to try to leave him enough space, but he just locks in behind us, fully knowing that he won't be able to get back to us. But now here on lap 26 you can see the tyre wear's really bad, but maybe from moving Felipe Massa, as we're thinking we're going to dive it down the inside here like we did with Carlos Sainz, but this time Massa leaves us the room and lets us through, which is actually more respectful racing. And here we are up into 9th place, but the tyres won't last. You can see 82% on the tyre there, so I think we're going to come in from this for our final set, a 5-stop race here on 2 soft tyres. And it's not a bad stop, but you know what, I think pit crew are tired of doing 5 tyre changes in this race. So we're going to come out in a lowly P20th, just before last, and look who's behind us, Jolyon Palmer. So I think this is going to be a really depressing race, and really unlucky and really annoying considering strategy, which Ferrari have fucked up again. But obviously here on the final lap, I get on too much on the curb, and that leaves us in Yasserchef, and I tried to save it by doing a double lock, but then we get a puncture and lose most of our front wing. So that puts a really bitter taste in my mouth. We're going to go through the checkered flag here as we're going to come down the final corner again for some reason, as we finish in P21 here in China. How disappointing. I don't really understand.
Here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been
So obviously that's the result. There's nothing I can really do about it, but we might as well look to the next race at Russia, which might serve to be interesting, but we keep our 4th place in the not the Constructors, the Drivers' Championship. I wouldn't say we're still in contention, but anyway. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all later.